Dear students, let us start the discussion on 11th February 2016 newspaper. The first article is related to the Urchin issue. Now let us see this map. This red mark over here, it is called as NJ9842. After 1948 war, with regard to the Karachi agreement, the line of control, it was demarcated up to NJ9842, and then it was declared that henceforth north. So the word north was differently interpreted by Pakistan and India. Now Pakistan has interpreted this north in this way up to the Karakoram Pass. India interpreted the north on the Saltaro Ridge up to Indira Kola. So now in 1963, Pakistan gave away the Shakagam Valley to China. So in this context, the issue got more complicated. So here, what is the strategic interest India interprets it? If China and Pakistan, they want to occupy this Leh region of India, so they can take the Siachen glacier and immediately they can enter into the Leh region of India. So in this context, the opponents argue that this is the most complex route for China if it has to invade into the Leh. And there are many other easy ways India can enter and China can enter into a Leh region in India. So in this context, both the countries are unnecessarily wasting their human resources, and both of them are fighting the climate rather than fighting each other in the highest battlefield in the world, that is Siachen. So in this case, what are the issues we need to talk about? So what is India's position now? Now India has relatively an advantageous position. So India, what it says is, first let us identify actual ground positions and demarcate them and put it on the paper, then demilitarize it. Now Pakistan, what it says is, since 1984 India is on illegal occupation to this. So instead of demarcation and demilitarization, both of them shall happen simultaneously. So if Pakistan is agreeing to the actual ground positions of Indian army, it means that it is also accepting the India's position, which Pakistan is not interested. So in these circumstances, the Prime Minister Manmohan Singh was suggesting making the Siachen, this triangular space, a glacial region, as a peace park. So obviously or hopefully, so when no person is gaining, it's better to be converted as a symbol of peace and cooperation. Now a famous army man has said this: it is like two bald-headed men fighting for a comb. Like that the Siachen fight between India and Pakistan is. Next, this is what the article is about. Next, growth data send the convicting signals. Now, the Central Statistical Organization's growth projections, they go around 7.6% at the constant prices for the fiscal year ending with March 31st. So, these growth projections, they are not in line with the other data which is coming up parallelly. You have economic expansion data, gross value addition, purchasing managers index, and also export growth rate. So if you observe all these four indices, so they show a constant decline. On the other hand, Raghuram Rajan and other economic experts expressed their opinions against mismatched data and also having the accurate data to make an economic decisions. So India recently, it has changed the method of evaluation of its GDP data. It also has included the indirect taxes which can artificially inflate the GDP volumes. So it is the time we shall look into our economic accuracies and data accuracies towards making a rational decision. And coming to the terrorism, so there are two important articles. One is related to David Headley trial in Mumbai terror attack. So This person has clearly stated that there is a ISI, Hafiz Saeed of Lashkar-e-Taiba, Jaish-e-Mohammed, all these are involved with planning of the Mumbai terror attack. So in this context, this trial information can be used by India tomorrow to trial the Hafiz Saeed and to bring him in justice. Now it is the responsibility of the Pakistan to take an action on these issues and also do justice for the victims of the Mumbai terror attack. Now Suhasini Haidar's article, I have a very beautiful conclusion. So this article talks about the differential standards of the world nations in their dealing with terror. On one hand, so they are very sensitive to the terror in the developed world and not so much sensitive to the developing and underdeveloped countries' terrorism. So if you take, in the France there was a terror attack simultaneously in Nairobi too. The France has attracted the world attention, it is not the Nairobi. So what we can say is this. Many of the developed countries are talking about ISIS terrorism, which is not of a great factor in India. So in this context, what we shall do is this. The India's terror concerns also shall become world's terror concerns. Then only India can fight the ISIS. Similarly, India, if it has to take the world concerns, world has to buy the India's terror concerns and also terror export from the neighboring country. Now coming to the net neutrality, how the Zuckerberg got the blues. So with regard to this issue, let us find out something. Now the most important lesson which we got to the public policy is the consultation mechanism. So the TRAI has evolved a consultation paper on which all the stakeholders have well responded. Use of the information technology tool for effective consultation between the stakeholders is a lesson learned from the net neutrality decision made by the TRAI. So the public consultation in the decision making, it has taken a upbeating through this. Now IMD, now it is going to give a summer forecast. Indian Meteorological Department, it is going to develop a color coding on various days of a summer to reflect the temperature changes. Now till now, the IMD projections, the monsoon projections are used by the farmers for sowing season. Now IMD projections will be used by other service sector industries such as air conditioning, refrigeration, ice cream, cool drinks, etc. It is broadening its horizons now. So in this context, IMD has to be given a credit that it was able to predict the monsoon forecast this year perfectly. Now coming to the Abu Dhabi Prince visit to India, Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, he has visited India and Prime Minister himself directly went to the airport to receive him. It shows the significance we are giving to the Abu Dhabi. What is so much interesting to us in Abu Dhabi? It is $800 billion sovereign fund with it. And India is looking for an investment from this to its infrastructure. And the second thing is, Abu Dhabi also agreed to hold 2/3 of our strategic reserve, which we want to maintain to buffer the shocks or oil shocks or rise or fluctuations in oil prices. In that, UAE is going to use these strategic reserves as its warehouse for the marketing techniques into the future. Now, intellectual property index, let us try to understand this. India has ranked around 37th position out of 38 countries in the intellectual property index. So it mapped six different types of categories of the intellectual property related materials, such as patents, copyrights, trademarks, trade secrets, enforcement and intellectual treaties. So in this, an international treaties. In this case, why such a low position for India? India is lowest placed when compared to all other BRICS nations too. So in this case, what it has been said is, India recently has suspended the implementation of final guidelines on computer related inventions and also there is a provision for compulsory licensing. A compulsory licensing means, so if government believes and patent position by a pharma company or any other inventor is being used against the interest, India can offer compulsory licensing to a local a producer to produce the same good. So it goes against the patent regime according to the intellectual property organizations such as WIPO. So compulsory licensing means against the patent holder, India can offer the production of that good to another company if it thinks it is necessary in the national interest. In this case, again, India has got highest online piracy according to this organization, that is Global Intellectual Property Center. So this makes India gave the India the weakest position on intellectual property ranking. So thank you very much. All the best.